Greetings everyone, it's the Chief back here again, back for another Transformers review, but before I start that, only for me anyway, at least, and I know a lot of other people are going as well, and I am so freaking hyped about this. BotCon, only 30 days away, 1 month away. I am really hyped about this and really excited about going to BotCon. It's pretty much all I've been thinking about for the past few days. I mean, I'm on Facebook on the BotCon contingency page, and yeah, I mean, just reading other comments from other people, it's gonna be a great year. I mean, not just for fans of, of the genre going to BotCon, but a gathering of people, think of a lot of people who are on YouTube, who have become great friends, have never met up and so forth, and any kind of gathering, any kind of social meeting point or anything like that is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I mean, obviously because this one's in the States and with me living here in the UK, it's going to be a big one. Plus also it's a movie year as well, with The Dark Side of the Moon being released. So hopefully we should see some really great stuff at BotCon. I will be taking my camera with me, so I will try and hopefully, if I'm not too drunk, try and get a lot of footage. Slightly different. Obviously I'm used to the UK conventions, and by speaking to a few of the others, it's pretty much similar, in which we go out, have a look at a few Transformers, and then get severely drunk, which I am also looking forward to. What else is there? Went to see the new Thor film. Yeah, it was okay. There's obviously a lot of throwbacks to the true origins of Thor, but yeah, it was an interesting take on Thor itself. Thoroughly enjoyable, but I think it could have done a little bit better with so much what's the word I'm looking for? With so much background. I don't know. Background. I'll use that word. On Thor, they could have used so much to try and improve the storyline, as it were. But with all the Iron Man Thor films, it's all about the new Avengers and the build up towards the Avengers film. Which, yeah, it does. It is as a fan again of Marvel. It does look great. It does look great, but yeah, that's it really. That's all I'm going to talk about for that. I'm going to crack on with this review because that's what you are subscribed to my channel for my reviews. And thank you, I'm up to 300 and something odd subs now. I can't remember the exact number, but thank you, big thank you. And I shall continue doing reviews as long as people want to see me. Anyway, my previous review, not including the Doctor Who adipose farty thing, that was just a bit of fun. My last review, of course, was this guy, which was G1 Hardhead. Yeah, I mean, the character Hardhead himself, I mean, if you follow the IDW stuff, he's obviously very different from the character you'd have seen in the G1 cartoon. And even the Master Force version of the Headmasters and so forth. They've each got a different personality. But I think the one thing with Hardhead is he's a soldier. He's a veteran. He loves going out and he loves the kill. And that is really represented in this figure here, which is Transformers Universe. I'll get it on the screen there. Yeah, Transformers Universe Hardhead. Now this is obviously just a repaint of Onslaught, Universe Onslaughts, which I got over in Hong Kong. This one I picked up on eBay from the States because it wasn't released here in the UK. But I just had to get this figure. I mean, I'm not, as you know, I'm not one for repaints. Pretty much if I've got the figure once, I'm not going to spend the same amount of money over and over again just buying a different version of a figure. But one thing I do like is add-ons. And the main reason why I got this figure was because of the Hardhead Transformers pack, which I will be reviewing later on, but not with this review. I'll be doing a completely separate review for that one piece there. Yeah, I mean, pretty much your standard typical universe style box there. In the Ultra Class figure. Background information on Hardhead himself there, which I'm not going to cover. And of course, talking about the 25 years of Hasbro Transformers, starting from 84, 2009, and Hardhead was originally introduced between 84 and 91. I believe it was actually 86 when he was first introduced in the Headmaster series, just after the movie. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more. I mean, the boxes are very generic, obviously, apart from the illustrations of the figure itself. But as I said, it is just a repaint of Onslaught. So if you've got Onslaught, then you pretty much know what this figure is like. Yeah, mine's still sealed. I haven't actually broken into it yet, but I shall be breaking this figure just for you guys. So yeah, I'll cut back to this and get him opened up. Back in a sec. And I'm back. Right, this is Hardhead, obviously in his vehicle mode. You know, it's a step away from his Cybertronian tank. I mean, if I get the original G1 figure, you know, that was obviously his Cybertronian tank mode. You know, which was pretty unique, and it did look awesome with his huge fucking guns on the side. You know, he was armed to the teeth. You know, bearing in mind that this is, you know, an Onslaught repaint, you know, it can translate well as Hardhead, I suppose. I mean, obviously you've got the green and the greys, which pays homage and tribute to the original Hardhead figure itself. I mean, looks-wise, you can't fault it. It does look mean, and that's pretty much what Hardhead is all about. He's a mean green fucker, and he's got a huge cannon on top. You know, these huge big fuck-off cannons. You know, and a little gimmick on itself. He's also got these little claws that come down on there, and obviously, you know, it would smash anything out in its way. The second gimmick, of course, he's got the licensed sounds, two different types. Obviously for the guns rattling off, and second one is a siren. You know, the way it's painted, I would say it's more for military purposes, as opposed to the Onslaught figure, which is obviously designed for SWAT teams. You know, he is a SWAT vehicle. You know, and probably the siren is more adaptable for Onslaught as opposed to Hardhead here. Kibble wise, obviously, I mean, you can just about make out his face in the middle there, but all in all, it's not too bad. You know, as a vehicle, it runs absolutely smoothly. The little cockpit itself there, with the see-through glass. I mean, it's just little details that I like on it. You know, things like the little rivets on the side. You know, the detailing on this vehicle is awesome. I cannot fault it at all. You know, someone's put a lot of effort in the design of this character, and I think that's the great thing about these new universe figures, is the fact that it's fans, it's the current fans of Transformers, people who grew up in Transformers, who've gone into work in the industry, you know, and you know, we've seen the interviews on the DVDs and so forth, of these guys who are coming, with these new creations, and they are literally sitting down thinking, right, now I remember playing with this figure as a kid, how can I make it fucking awesome? And they do it. And this, I have to say, in its vehicle mode, is absolutely awesome. You know, you just can't fault it, really. You really cannot fault it. I mean, back-wise, I mean, they've really put a lot of effort in making this kibble-free. Aside from his little gun on the bottom there, there's really not much I can say about the vehicle. I mean, the turret itself does spin around 90 degrees. It's got a little searchlight on the top there, but it doesn't actually light up, which is a shame. It would be nice to have some sort of LED in there. Simply, in terms of lighting up, we simply just got the two little siren flashing lights there on either side of the gun itself. And the siren there. So you've got two points with the LED lights itself there. Right, on with the transformation, I suppose. In terms of transformation, it's so simplistic, and I like that. You know, there's nothing worse than getting a figure out and taking half an hour. I think, we've all come across figures like that, such as the movie Ultimate Bumblebee, or the Cybertron Megatron. It's just so finicky, and there's so many, it's a double-edged sword, because things can either be too simplistic or too intricate, whereby you just give up after half an hour or you end up breaking something. But the thing I like about the Universe figures, well, at least for this figure anyway, is the transformation process. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy, it gives them articulation, and but I'll show you exactly what I mean. It's very simple. I mean, you knock the little headlights down, open the two side panels, get this down there, open the two side panels, and you literally just flip the legs open. Like so. And you bring his legs down. I mean, the thing about you simply just fold the the rear wheel back itself, and it closes in, and it is very clean, which is something I do like about this figure. Again, you do the other same on the leg as well. Simply, you've got this kind of like black mesh thing there, so you simply open it up, close that in, and peg that back in. As simple as that. And obviously you've got his legs forming itself there. From the side panel itself, you simply fold that down once and it's done, and that's his foot, and again same on the other side as well. These are meant to peg in, but my one doesn't peg in that well. Now just straighten his legs up. His arse cover, you just basically slide that back up there, fold it in itself, and that protects his fucking arse. And you simply just split the top end itself there, split that open like so, bring his arms down, and what I'm going to do is simply just fold that down like so. That clips into place there. Going off camera a bit there. Flip the rear shield down, and then you've got these what would have been the front end of the vehicle itself, form these huge dynasty-like shoulder pads. Brings his arms down to the side, and you fold his fists out. As simple as that. One thing I forgot to mention as well is his shield. Obviously with the No Decepticon graffiti on there, alongside with a tally chart, I'm assuming, of how many Decepticons he has killed. So yeah, he has killed 7 Decepticons. Great role model for kids. Yeah, bring his arms down to the side, and there you have it. It's pretty much done there. If I just try and clip this back in. You know, he's a menacing looking figure. But my issue with this figure is I can't help but look at him, especially with the two prolonged cannons on the back, and think Onslaught. You know, I look at the figure and it is Onslaught, but in green. And his head sculpt obviously is still that of Onslaught. Not much change there. He's got the same gimmick itself, whereby you press the button on the side of his arm and it reveals his cannon itself there. And again, his shield, which does actually attach to his rear end. If I show you on the back there, where his cannon is in his vehicle mode, it would simply just clip on to the back there, like so. And you can store his shield that way as well. And he does actually have a little button on the back of the shield, so you still continue pressing the buttons for the sound effects. But yeah, alternatively what you can do is pop open on the side of his arm, a little peg there, and the shield simply clips on like so. And again, that just adds to his badass look in terms of you know, the overall look of Onslaught itself. See, I've done it Hardhead. And there he is in all his glory. You know, if I just quickly put him there and transform Hardhead into his robot form. So you can see these two figures side by side. You know, and I can see how they're paying homage to, you know, the G1 Hardhead, but it just doesn't quite work. If I show you there, you know, the unique thing about Hardhead in his G1 form, he was armed to the teeth. You know, so it would be nice to have a few more extra weapons on there. Yeah, I mean, but in saying that, you know, I do like this figure. You know, and what I can do is remove the G1 figures guns, and they will actually fit just about into his hand, like so. There. So there you have him. I mean, again, I can put the other second gun in as well if I want to. They are a bit tight, but they do just about fit in to his hands there. You know, the only issue I have with this Hardhead figure itself, because his head is slightly on a slant, he's always constantly looking down. You know, I'm looking in the face itself, and I'm thinking Grimlock even. You know, it's a shame they just didn't simply remold a new head sculpt for this figure. And also, you know, he was a headmaster figure as well. And it was so unique for this figure, the fact he was a headmaster figure. You know, and yeah, of course they couldn't, I don't know, because it was just simply a recolor of original figure. You know, but it would be nice to have the extra guns and a new head sculpt even. And even, you know, from vehicle mode to robot mode, his cannon on the side of his head, you know, it's simply just on a swivel joint, so you just simply knocked it from back position to forward position, and he had a kind of like shoulder cannon there. With this, you can't do anything at all. They're simply fixed in that position. You know, so in terms of, is it really a homage to Hardhead, or is it really just another money-making scheme from Hasbro to try and recolor a figure and say, oh look, he looks like so-and-so, doesn't he? And I think unfortunately it does fall for the latter. It's because I enjoy the Onslaught figure so much that I actually contemplated buying this figure in the first place. He is a good figure. You know, articulation wise, he's got 360 degrees turn on his head. He can move his arms, again 360, no problems at all. You know, he's got elbow joints, slight articulations on the fist itself. I mean, they can rotate 360. They bend at the joints. Again, at the hips itself, he can move his legs. It is hindered by this rear piece itself there, but otherwise you can bend it. Oops, sound like a toilet flushing then. What the hell was that noise? I mean, I may have missed something, I don't know. Have I missed something? No, no other buttons. Well, that sounded like a toilet flushing, so I don't know where that came from. Anyhow, yeah, you can bend at the knees, so you can have him posing in different sorts of modes of him squatting and so forth itself there. It doesn't twist at the hips, but when you're talking about a G1 figure who only had the classic zombie mode, arms out, couldn't bend at the knees, it is a huge improvement from the G1 figure. But whichever way I try and look at this figure, I will always think Onslaught. But that is where the add-on of the Headmaster Hothead figure comes in. And yeah, in my next video I'll be looking into that in more closer detail. But yeah, this is Universe Hardhead. I hope you enjoyed this review. And leave your comments below. And I'm going to BotCon. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to add some more to this figure itself, but there isn't really much more to say because, like I said, I just think Onslaught every time I see this figure. And I'm hoping by adding on the new head sculpt it will make a difference. I don't buy many add-on packs, but it made such a difference on Superion that I decided to go for this figure with the added head in the Hothead figure itself. So yeah, stay tuned. This is the Chief starting off at an angle. So yeah, I'll catch you next time. This is Chief logging off.